Over the weekend, there was I guess you could call it a Q event, and one of the featured speakers was one of Donald Trump's former attorneys, Sidney Powell. You know, the woman who said she was going to unleash the crackin with these election challenge lawsuits and ended up getting herself sued for a couple $1 billion for defaming the voting companies. So anyway, she's at this event and she's being interviewed on stage by conservative radio host Doug Billings. And Billings asks her, well, I'm not going to put words in anybody's mouth. I'll read the question and her response. Billings said, with regards to President Trump, who is the president, by the way, we heard about the Insurrection Act. We heard about a lot of things. I think one of the toughest things out there, the one people talk about the most with regards to you and things you may know is this. Why didn't President Trump do something to stop this? And before I get to her answer, of course, we're talking about why didn't Donald Trump stop Joe Biden from becoming president, even though, as Billings clearly said, Trump's still the president. Like, these people are so delusional. They need their own padded rooms and their own dedicated team of mental health specialists to just be with them around the clock. Like, that's how delusional these individuals are. So anyway, why didn't Trump do anything? Billings wants to know. So Sidney Powell takes a shot at Trump, says this. That is one of the hardest questions there is, and I really don't know the answer. What I can tell you is that he had the power under Executive Order 1348 that he signed in 2018 that had been renewed each year since then, including as recently as September 2020, gave him all the emergency authority that any president has ever had. And it could have been invoked because it was triggered by foreign interference in the election. There was massive evidence of foreign interference in the election in terms of hacking and in terms of packet travel, the cyber guys call it. That was going between Serbia and Germany and Hong Kong and the US and any number of other countries. So, okay, we got ballots. What is it called again? I'm sorry. Packet travel. We got packet travel. We got packets. They're going to Serbia. They're from Serbia. They're going to Germany. Germany to Hong Kong. Hong Kong back to the US. Back to the US. Back to over, I don't know, Serbia again. It's just a big circle of packets. Packet travel. Idiots. So let's do something here. What exactly is this Executive Order 1348? Luckily for you, I took the time this morning. Didn't want to, but I did. And I read through the entirety of that ridiculous Executive Order 1348. And it does, in fact, give the President of the United States a little bit of authority with regards to foreign election interference. But it does not give the President the authority to really do anything. What it does is it creates a chain of command, essentially, for these other government agencies, including the Treasury, and that's actually one of the most important ones in 1348, gives the Treasury the authority based on information from Homeland Security if election interference is found. And Trump, even in the order he signed, it said there's never been any instance of election interference from a foreign country. Like, it actually says that in the order that he signed. There's no foreign interference in U.S. elections, he says. And of course, we all know why he said that, because he was investigated for getting foreign help in an election. Now, he was impeached for getting foreign help in a different election too, by the way. So anyway, the Treasury, at the advice, I guess, of Homeland Security, can take any evidence of election interfering with the individuals or the countries involved and put sanctions on them. That's what it does. It gives nobody in any part of that chain of command, including the President of the United States, the authority to overturn or alter the results of an election. Executive Order 1348 does not do any of that, no matter what Sidney Powell says. And Sidney Powell needs to understand something. When she goes out there and says stupid crap like this is something you can Google. You can Google Executive Order 1348 for yourself and read it for yourself. But nobody in that crowd at this weekend's event is going to do that. She said it, it's true. That's all they need. But if you want to take the time, torture yourself the way I did, and go read it, you're more than welcome to do it, and you're going to see that what I said is correct and what she said is incorrect. So anyway, now we have Sidney Powell, though, taking shots at Donald Trump, being angry that he didn't do enough to somehow steal the election, even though he really couldn't. And let's be honest, Donald Trump has done as much as he possibly could to try to steal the 2020 election. It just hasn't panned out for him so far. Same thing with Sidney Powell. And I don't care what Mr. Billings says, Donald Trump is not the president of the United States. That's just not what happened. But again, these people are delusional. And as they sink further and further into that delusion, they're now turning on one another. Sidney Powell is turning slowly, mildly on Donald Trump. But we have seen some people with even mild criticisms of Donald Trump get absolutely buried by the guy. So I don't know if Trump's going to take the time to respond to this. I don't know if he even feels it's necessary to get involved in her nonsense. But if he does, and he turns on Sidney Powell, I wonder what that's going to do to this really bizarre movement they have going. It could help hasten the demise of that wing of the Republican Party, which, let's be honest, would be good for everyone.